again, everyone. I'm Paul, the Nitro Scholars, and welcome to this edition of the Nitro Corner. Today is Sunday, and it's kind of a combined edition of the Nitro Corner because I'll start off first with the return of the booking sheet for Destination X tonight on pay-per-view, and then the classic match of the week. So let's get started with the booking sheet for Destination X. The first match I would book is the Four Corner Showcase match involving Jack Evans, Low Key, I forget the two others, so you'll have to excuse me on that. But in the end, I think Jack Evans, with that 640 splash, sick maneuver, will score the fall on, I think, Low Key. In a close one, I think that is possibly also a match of the year candidate. Jack Evans, victorious in the opening matchup, the Showcase match, the Four Corners battle. Next up, I would book the X Division title match between the Monster Abyss and Brian Kendrick. I think we're going to see a brand new X Division champion. Here's how I would book it. Abyss would totally dominate Brian Kendrick, but then Brian Kendrick would work from behind, like David versus Goliath. He would muster up the strength to somehow survive, and then Abyss would make one mistake, maybe a charge into the corner. He would miss it. Brian Kendrick would do a simple schoolboy, rolls him up and catch Abyss by surprise, 1, 2, 3, and Brian Kendrick would be the new X Division champion. And that would certainly give a nice pop to Brian Kendrick. Next up would be the grudge match between Kazarian and Samoa Joe. I think we're going to see a mild upset as Kazarian scores a win over Samoa Joe, but what would happen after the match is Samoa Joe would go absolutely berserk and try to injure Kazarian, which would lead AJ Styles, Daniels, and Beer Money to make the save. No doubt will cause a feud between Fortune and Samoa Joe for the near future. That's how I see it. Kazarian scores a win over Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe tries to attack him afterward, gets saved by the other members of Fortune. Then the co-main event, RVD battles it out with Jerry Lynn. I think this should be a great matchup between these two athletes who have had a classic rivalry back in 98 and 99 for the ECW Television Championship. I think in the end of the day, Rob Van Dam will use the 5-star Frog Splash to beat Jerry Lynn in a good matchup. And then the main event, because there's only 5 matches that I know of, folks, you'll have to excuse me on that. The main event, I would book AJ Styles to beat Christopher Daniels in the main event. I think this will be an all-time classic between these two great X Division athletes. I think Styles somehow will use the Styles Clash, I think, off the second rope and put away Christopher Daniels for the victory. And that is the booking sheet for Destination X tonight on pay-per-view. I will have another one next Sunday for Money in the Bank. Now, time now for the excuse me. Time now for the classic match of the week. This comes from the arenafaux channel, and it's a 3-parter. We go back to 1981 at the Louisville Gardens in Louisville, the Rump Arena, in Louisville, Kentucky. It is a steel cage match from 1981 for the ICW, the International Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, as the late great Macho Man Randy Savage took on the one-man gang, the original OMG, the original one-man gang, the Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin. These two had a feud going all the way back from 1978 to that point in 1981. But the roles were reversed. In this cage match, Savage was the favorite, fan favorite, Garvin was the heel. Now, I don't know why they switched roles. It was so good with Garvin being the babyface and Savage being the heel, but that was back then in ICW back in 1981. So that is our classic match of the week, a steel cage match for the ICW heavyweight title. Ronnie Garvin, the one-man gang, the original OMG one-man gang, Ronnie Garvin takes on the Macho Man Randy Savage for the ICW heavyweight championship, and Leaping Lanny Poffo does the color commentary for this one. Well, that is it for this edition of the Nitro Corner. I will be back tomorrow for the Nitro Opinion, as I will give you yet another update on the CM Punk situation. Until then, I'm Paul the Nitro Scover saying, so long, everybody.